people may know that obviously 5 years ago, I think this has been here now. This is now the car park of the testing centre, and as you know, over at the Guildhall is where it is for the vaccination centre, and over the other side at the church. But predominantly the Guildhall is going to be the main place. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to come live right now, but I thought I might as well do it here while I've got the chance to. I haven't had, it's been a long time since I've done my live. I was literally trying to get on the road to go and take my son to see my grandson. But unfortunately, parent alienation from and a couple of problems and a few digs. And anyway, let's keep my son's family business out of my lives. But let's just say my land's going to be big enough for my grandchildren as well. So anyway, as you know, I've been in Portsmouth 5 years now. And as somebody with complex trauma, I've spent a lot of time getting to know the city and more to do with those with homelessness, drugs, people who would come under social care, people who would have children taken. And I've spent a lot of time getting to know people from all different avenues to understand how they then get funneled into this tick box within social care and the social remit, and how people with physical conditions are being criminalised, and also with everything that I've been trying to watch to see whether or not I've been completely raving freaking mad, or whether what I witnessed in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 was what I believed it to be. So if you haven't gone onto YouTube, put in the Great Reset and it will come up with all the stuff with Prince Charles talking about using this as the Great Reset. However, if you then put in the Great Reset, Aspen Institute, it will show you the festival where this was pitched as a book and actually how this was going to be implemented. As you know, I came in with Challenge Britain, and Challenge Britain was going to be the bridge to help people who were going to be basically pushed off the cliff without all the correct tools and put into vulnerable states of suicide, depression, many different battles, not understanding how things were changing over and how the system was changing over. Obviously, universal credits was a massive big part of this, because they weren't expecting Great Britain to come out of the EU, being that this is all about United Nations and the EU. The World Health Organization is so basically United Nations, and then the subs that come off it are actually private company businesses. So the World Health Organization and the World Economic Forum are businesses. So you can go onto companies' houses and you can see who own them and who run them. Please remember, all MPs only earn about £60,000 a year. The people that we're dealing with, which is the pharmaceutical companies, this is a problem solution based marketing program being done to you. So it's saying, hey, we've got a mass problem and here is the solution. Have a look at the stock markets, have a look what companies during lockdown have made more money. Vaccination companies, Bill Gates is literally oh yeah, oh yeah, who remembers the Backstreet Boys? Right, so anyway, basically have a look at the problem solution basic marketing. So have a look at the World Health Organization for Sustainability for 2030. So basically, when you have a business plan, so if you work with somebody, you'll have a contract, and that contract may be for a year, 2 years, 3 years. When you are self-employed and you run a business, you have to have a projected estimation 5, 10, 15, 25-year plan. You have to be able to show your investors their return on their money. So there you have to show the agenda of what you're trying to achieve. So therefore, their agenda was, one of the reasons that I came into this is because part of that was about disability equality for 2025. I said disability equality is about a mindset, and it's about enabling people, not disabling them. Part of that was to vaccinate the entire world. There's many other things, ownership of land. Basically, it's about you will be happy, but you will not own anything. It's very Marxist, very communist. So the reason that you're wearing a mask is because it's a problem-based solution, public, private company marketing process. And when we come out of lockdown, that you know it, no, things are not going to be the same. AI is going to be infiltrated. We're going to be under the complete surveillance of throughout the world, apart from China, which is battling, Russia is battling, some places like Mongolia and all those sort of West African companies, they're saying no. Jesus rocks in their places. They do not tolerate paedophilia. They do not tolerate even gay, and obviously a bit more clean in many ways in some other countries. Here in the Western world, we're so freaking diverse that we tolerate pretty much everything. We are tolerating the transgender thing, we're tolerating the LGBT, we're tolerating this. It's not busy, mate. People are not in and out of getting here tested. People are not running around screaming, worrying about COVID. In fact, it's very peaceful here in Portsmouth. It's very nice. It's moved from police putting their heads down from me to actually now my police go, hey Kelly, hey boys, how you doing? So the community has grown. I've got to be careful because I've got some boys around. I've only got an hour left. My mum has the boys on a Thursday.
And this year's event is taking place in May, but we're ahead of ourselves. Back to this month.
No, we're not ahead of ourselves. July 17th will be the end of lockdown for this level, which will be Elijah's birthday, which will be the launch of the London School of Hip Hop, which is his, ready for breakdancing going into the Olympics. And then Shiloh will follow with his Skater Sensation stuff, with skateboarding becoming part of the Olympics. Your movements are still going to change. People on benefits are probably going to not notice as much because you've been institutionalised and on lockdown for a very long time anyway. That's what I came to help people on benefits understand, that by taking that benefit money, you were actually taking away your whole freedoms and rights to your life, basically, because most people don't have a driving license, most people can't afford a car, most people can't afford the choices in their lives to choose what sort of house that they live in, what sort of things that they do. The Challenge Britain was about getting us all to think about these things and think about these reforms, how the prison system worked, how the social care system worked, what sort of houses, what sort of schools that we have, and then to come into Step Up Britain, which was about bringing you to a whole new standard, to set a whole new standard for you, what you won't tolerate. Do you want somebody who hits you? No. Do you want somebody who takes drugs? No. Do you want somebody who steals or is always in the courts or something like that? No. But should we have issues with people? I've just got the police coming past, so they're probably wondering. And maybe it's absolutely completely irrelevant. They'd still go, no, I'm not going to her. That's too much paperwork. So anyway, guys, I do believe it's a time of mass prayer. Please be careful. The mark of the beast is not what you think it is. The mark of the beast was actually a consciousness. It was about all people on one consciousness. And there's a lot of people trying to raise your vibration to make sure that you become part of something that you don't even understand what you're being pushed into. People are being coerced. So basically, people who are doing as they're told right now are doing it because they're conforming to the ways of the world. Do not conform to the ways of the world, but by the renewal of your mind. Stand firm in Jesus, stand firm in the God. The Ombi universe is being your own flow, your own creation. And this is a time now for people to really go truly within themselves, because it's a time where people will try to tell you you're this, you're that, you can do this, you can do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And you have to say, this is my purpose, this is who I am, this is my mission statement, this is what I'm here to do, this is what I'm here to achieve. It's not about the car, it's not about the houses, it's about your character, it's about who you are. And they'll come to assassinate that in any way, shape or form that they can, especially somebody like me. They never wanted this information out of the think tank rooms, and somebody like me was a little bit too excited. I didn't agree with their anchors and motors philosophy. I said, basically, what you're doing is pushing everybody off a cliff, and it's a survival of the fittest. You can't do that. You can't do that without preparing people, because people's mindsets are just not there. You can't educate people, dumb them down to a system, and then put them into an arena and say, be the best version of yourself. You can't put people through an education system where they're being tested on their abilities on a mass, and then you're segregating people and making them feel stupid when actually they may be very creative, very artistic. You know, we've tried to advance in this country from schools to academic places, but at the end of the day, it is about the parents. It is about the parents taking on the responsibility of their children. That's how we safeguard our children. That's how we protect our children. That's how we nurture them. We're not meant to be dumping them into the institution. Our children are not products of the state. They are children of God that were born, and the responsibility belongs with us, the parents. And
Nothing was too much trouble. Just like my friend said. There are Hillary's advisors all over Southampton.